Hi, it's so good to see you again. Please make yourself comfortable, however you like. There's no rush here. I want this space to feel as relaxing and calm as possible for you. So, how are you doing today? I see. You're carrying quite a bit with you right now, aren't you? It's okay. We can unpack it slowly, at your own pace. Sometimes just being here and talking about what's on your mind is enough to start lightening the load. You mentioned feeling a bit unsure about things lately. So tell me, what's been weighing on you the most? I see. That's a lot to hold on to. It sounds like you've been thinking about where you want to go, but maybe feeling stuck in figuring out how to get there. That's a pretty common feeling, especially when you're dealing with life goals that really matter to you. It's almost like standing at a crossroads, but the paths ahead are still a bit foggy, right? I'd love to hear more about these goals you've been thinking of. What's been occupying your mind? Is there something specific you've been drawn to? That sounds like something you've been carrying with you for a while. Often the things we think about the most are the things that hold the most meaning for us. But I sense there's a hesitation, like part of you is saying, can I really do this? Or is this the right direction? Would that be accurate? It makes sense. It's natural to feel that push and pull when you're thinking about something so important. Your mind wants to leap forward, but there's another part of you that's saying, wait, are we sure about this? That kind of internal conversation is normal, especially when the stakes feel high. Let's slow down and take a closer look at what's going on beneath the surface. When you think about this goal, this vision for your future, what emotions come up for you? Is it excitement, fear, maybe a mix of both? A mix, yeah, that's very common. That excitement is telling you that this goal really matters to you. It's pulling you towards something that feels fulfilling. And the fear? That's your mind trying to protect you from the unknown. Our brains don't always like uncertainty, so they try to hold us back by planting those seeds of doubt. What do you think it is about this goal that excites you so much? What part of it lights you up inside? That sounds so meaningful. I can hear the passion in your voice when you talk about it. It's something that clearly aligns with who you are and what you want out of life. But I'm also hearing that undercurrent of uncertainty, like maybe you're not quite sure how to start, or if you should even allow yourself to fully embrace this dream. Let's explore that for a moment. What's the biggest thing holding you back? Is it fear of failure? Or maybe there's something external like time, responsibilities, or the opinion of others? That makes sense. Fear of failure is something a lot of people struggle with, especially when they're setting their sights on something big. We start to think, what if I pour everything into this and it doesn't work out. That's a scary thought because it feels like you're risking not just time or effort, but a part of yourself. But here's something to think about. What if failure isn't the opposite of success? What if it's just part of the journey? Every step you take, whether it brings you closer to your goal or teaches you something through setbacks, is a step forward. What do you think about that idea? Exactly. Shifting the way we think about failure can be powerful. It takes the pressure off having to get everything right the first time. Think about it like this. Each step you take, whether it's a win or a lesson, brings you closer to your goal, which essentially makes it progress no matter what. What do you think would happen if you started taking small steps toward this goal, even if you didn't have the whole plan figured out yet? Yeah, that's a great realization. Sometimes when we think about a goal, it feels overwhelming because we're looking at the entire journey all at once. But if we break it down into smaller steps, it suddenly becomes more manageable. Let's say you didn't have to think about the end result right now. What would be the first small step you could take toward your goal? That sounds like a fantastic place to start. And the beautiful thing is, taking that first step can give you momentum. It doesn't have to be a giant leap like a lot of people think. It's more about making consistent, intentional moves in the direction you want to go. Each step will build on the one before it. I'd also like to talk about how you handle challenges along the way. As you pursue this goal, there will be inevitable obstacles, both external and internal. What do you think might get in your way, either from outside sources or from within? Time and responsibilities. That's definitely a common challenge. It can feel like there's never enough time to do everything, especially when you're juggling multiple priorities. But here's the thing. You don't have to dedicate huge chunks of time right away. Even small moments, if used intentionally, can move you closer to your goal. What about internally? You mentioned fear earlier. What happens when that fear or doubt shows up? How do you usually deal with it? It sounds like you try to push through, which takes a lot of strength. But I also wonder if that approach leaves you feeling exhausted sometimes. Constantly fighting against fear can be draining, especially when it feels like it's always there in the background. What if, instead of trying to push through, you allowed yourself to acknowledge the fear without letting it control your actions? What if you said, "I see you, but I'm going to move forward anyway"? How do you think that would change things? Exactly. It takes some of the pressure off, doesn't it? You don't have to wrestle with your doubts. You can acknowledge that they're there, but they don't get to dictate what you do next. In fact, acknowledging your fears can actually make them less powerful because you're not fighting against them anymore. You're accepting that they exist, but you're still choosing to move forward. Now, as we talk about moving forward, I want to ask you about something equally important: balance. When you think about this goal and the steps you want to take, how do you plan to balance that with taking care of yourself? Do you feel like you're making enough time for rest and self-care? Or does that tend to get pushed aside? I thought so. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, especially when you're really motivated and focused on something important. But rest isn't just a break from progress, it's actually part of the process. Your mind and body need time to recharge, to reflect, and sometimes even to let new ideas emerge. What do you think would happen if you started to see rest as a necessary part of achieving your goals, rather than something that takes you away from them? Yes, that's exactly right. Rest isn't a setback, it's fuel for your journey. When you allow yourself time to rest, you're not only recharging your energy, but you're also giving yourself space to think more clearly and creatively. It's in those quiet moments that new insights often come to us. I'd love for you to think about how you can start incorporating more rest into your routine. It doesn't have to be elaborate, just small moments where you give yourself permission to pause and recharge. What kind of activities or practices help you feel most grounded and rested? Yeah, those are great choices. And do you think you could start weaving those into your schedule, even if it's just a few minutes here and there? Perfect. It's all about balance. You're working towards something meaningful, but that doesn't mean you have to burn yourself out in the process. When you take care of yourself, you're also taking care of your ability to reach your goals. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought. Remember, the journey toward your goal isn't just about the destination. It's about the steps you take along the way, the lessons you learn, and the balance you maintain. Each small action, each moment of rest, each time you acknowledge your fears but choose to move forward, that's progress. You're already on your way, even if it doesn't always feel like it. Just by being here, by reflecting on your goals and how you want to approach them, you're moving forward. And I'm here to support you. So you're not alone on this journey. Now, come, take a deep breath with me. Inhale slowly and exhale. Let go of any tension you're holding and bring yourself back to this present moment. You're doing great and you're taking the right steps. You don't need to have all the answers right now. It's okay to take it one day, one step at a time. Progress isn't always linear, but every bit counts. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else on your mind? Anything that's still lingering or something you'd like to dive into a bit more? I'm glad you brought that up. It's good that you're being so honest with yourself about where you are and what you're feeling. There's no rush to figure everything out all at once. If there's something you want to explore more deeply, or if you need guidance along the way, we can always come back to it. This space is always here for you. let's talk a bit about what you'll do after this session. What's something you can focus on right now, today even, that would help you feel like you're taking a step toward your goal? It could be something small, just a simple action. Yeah, that's a great start. Remember, small steps build momentum. You've already started laying the foundation just by being here and reflecting on what's important to you. Now it's about carrying that energy forward in little ways each day. I want you to carry this sense of calm and clarity with you. Let it serve as a reminder that you're capable of navigating the path ahead, no matter how uncertain it might seem at times. You have everything you need within you to achieve what you're aiming for. It's just a matter of trusting yourself and giving yourself permission to take things one step at a time. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Whenever you're ready to continue, I'll be here. Take care of yourself, and never forget you're not alone in this. You're doing just fine. We'll talk again soon.